You see, we Muslims say that Muhammad is the fulfillment of the teachings of Moses and Jesus. It's the same religion. To me, what you call Judaism and what you call Christianity and what we call Islam, we say that these are not three different religions. We say it is the same religion on different levels. It's the one religion on different levels, like the teaching given through Moses. In the Sinai desert, they had just come out of the Egyptian bondage, and God wanted to give them a law that would give them quick justice, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. There was no time for lengthy litigations or putting a man in prison. An antisocial character, an adulterer, stone him to death. Get rid of the guy and move on. There's work to be done. There's no sense in leaving the man in the desert to die of hunger and thirst. It was more merciful to kill him, and he will also become an object lesson for others. So that was the philosophy behind the law that was given to Moses. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Beautiful law. A Jesus or a Muhammad could not have done anything better in the desert for the Jews. If instead of the word Moses, Jesus was there, he would have given the same law. Instead of Jesus or Moses, Muhammad was there, he would have given the same law. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. No difference.
The law was not summed up in those words. It was, thou shalt have no other gods before you, not to make idols on the Sabbath.
All accept. But I said, a Jesus or a Muhammad couldn't have done anything better.
It was God's law.
Was for the needs of the people of the time.
We think this was
perfect. This was a perfect teaching for the needs. But laws have a tendency to change the characters of people over a period of time. Like we are living in this color-conscious country, or Hitlerite Germany. You know, one of the most cultured nations in Europe. They incinerated 6 million Jews. So it is said, 6 million Jews. As a kind of nation like that, the land of Goethe and Beethoven, and this cultured nation among the Europeans, do such a thing like that? Impossible. I says, no, through brainwashing, it's possible. You know, you brainwash a nation over a period, so these are parasites, these are Jews, these are Christ killers. Shh. The people have worked and say, well, even if you feel it's wrong, we say, well, they deserve it, man.
You mean like Saddam Hussein and the Kurds and the Shiites?
Right. Same. You can be programmed. In South Africa, for 300 years, we had apartheid, racism.
Not in Natal we didn't. Not in Natal we didn't.
Oh, I said, look, I suffered it here. For 60 years I'm suffering this apartheid of yours.
I don't think you've suffered so badly.
That's not for you to judge. You have no right to say how I feel. You know, there's one little pinprick how I felt, you have no right to judge. You have no right to say, let's...
But I've been in prison, have you?
I've
spent time in prison, have you?
I said, you have no right to judge how I feel. So, this color-conscious country of ours, I have had occasion of inviting dozens of whites, learned people, businessmen to my home for chat and food. Whatever I have, I offer. And they all enjoy my food. My food, our food, is the Muslim what we cook. The white man enjoys it, the colored enjoys it, the African enjoys it, everybody hogs it. They love our food. See? And they profuse in their thanks when they go. They enjoy the chat and they enjoy the food. But no white man has ever invited me to his home in 40 years for a cup of tea. Yet, no white man has. But they meet me in the street subsequently, and they say, Mr. Deedat, how are you? How's the missus? She is fine. Convey my regards to her, all that they do. But no white man has invited me to his house for a cup of tea.
Is this something to do with race or something to do with religion?
That's what I'm explaining.
Is this religion or is it
race? Race.
I doubt it.
Let me give you my experience. And if you want to say, look, you're a liar, so okay. You have a right to say that. So I said, no white man has. So I want to know why. So I meet, talk to you like friend to friend. I said, look, don't you people know such a thing as reciprocation? I said, yes. Don't you reciprocate among yourselves? I said, yes. Then how is it that you don't reciprocate to me? Maybe he never thought of it. No. What happens is this, that the white man, he is programmed. In this color-conscious country, everything is color, color, color. So now he invites me to Durban North, his elite home in Durban North. And I go there one Sunday morning with my family. And my wife, of course, she wears our own attire, and I have got this funny headgear and this beard of mine. I go along, walking down the streets, looking for number 10 Downing Street, and I found it. And there are people watering the garden. They say, "What this bloody coolie doing around here?" You know, in this elite Durban North area. The back, this bloody coolie doing around here, with his gang of, this Oriental woman. Right. I go knock at the door, and Mrs. Smith, she opens the door with a smiling face. She opens the door, and she welcomes me in. Right. But now tongues begin to wag. He said, "Look, half an hour, 15 minutes gone, and these coolies have gone into the house. What are they doing? What are these the Smith people? What are they running? Has she been or what?" So at the back of the mind, the white man is terrified about his environment.
But Mr. Deedat, are you not an unusual individual? You have a particular mission in life, which may mean that you have missed invitation.
If you are a hypocrite, you enjoyed my food, you say. You enjoyed my food and you enjoyed my chat. You are a hypocrite.
Well,
and yet you are not prepared to call me to your house for a cup of tea. And when we are around the corner.
Mr. Deedat, what is this got to do with Islam?
What I was telling you about now, what I was demonstrating about brainwashing. You see, people get brainwashed. All get brainwashed. We all get brainwashed. The type of society you live in, everybody is color conscious. The African, when I call him Umfetu, he's terrified. Because he's terrified. Umfetu means brother. He is terrified. The Zulu is terrified when I say Umfetu, brother. Because he's thinking, everybody says kafa, 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 and this guy's calling me a brother. What's the motive? He wants something out of me. He's terrified. So why? Because of this setup. Everything is on color, color, color. So the guy is thinking in terms of color. So between Moses and Jesus, 1300 years. The Jews had a law, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. And they kept the law.
In the context of the magistrate, it was the law.
Please.
Not
what does this have to do with Islam? I'm lost.
They 1300 years, they kept the law, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Now, during these 1300 years, the character of people changes. Eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. So I was trying to chase the birds with an old-fashioned sling, the one that David used, and by accident it damaged your eye. So you go to the judge and say, "Look, this guy here did that, damaged my eye. We want to damage his. We want to damage his." So I plead with you, I said, "Peter, look, I didn't mean it, man. I was trying to chase the birds from the field, and it was an accident. Forgive me." He said, "No, the law says an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth." I said, "Look, Peter, I'll give you a heifer from my flock. Please forgive me." He said, "No, the law says an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. You have a right."
That is not the law.
The magistrates were to extract.
You've made provision for accidents.
Look, you have a right to demand your pound of flesh, like Shylock. You have a right. So now Jesus Christ, he sees this abuse among the Jews, that they had forgotten forgiveness. So Jesus Christ, a spiritual physician among the Jews, he wants to rectify that. So he's telling them, you must forgive, and forgive, and forgive. He says, "How many times, Lord?" He says, 70 times 7. Did he say that? 70 times 7. That's 490. Is that to be taken literally? No. No. In other words, indefinitely. You see, because now you got a sickness. Your sickness, hard-heartedness, is such that you need a remedy which is an antidote, which is another extreme. 70 times 7. You don't start counting and say, "Look, Peter, this is the 5th time now. Huh? This is the 50th time now. Peter, now look, this is 600 times now. Peter," until which is 407.
Is forgiveness taught in Islam, to forgive your enemies? Is it?
So, yes. So now, Jesus says, forgive 70 times 7. This is an antidote for the sickness. So he has changed the law. From an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, he says, "No, you must forgive, you must forgive, you must forgive." 70 times 7.
No, but even in the Old Testament it taught you to forgive and to love your enemy.
But now the guys were leading according to the letter of the law. So Jesus says, no, you must forgive. You must have compassion and mercy. Women, must we divorce her or not? He said, this has been said by them of old time, that whosoever puts away his wife, let him give her a bill of divorcement. But I say unto you, whosoever puts away his wife, save for the cause of fornication, causes her to commit adultery. And whosoever marries her that is divorced committed adultery. He is now straitjacketing the people, tightening the law, because they have become lax. So this is the history of man, that over a period, any law, you are going to start playing with it. So the spiritual physician, the prophet of God, comes along to rectify the situation. Now, in that process, Jesus Christ says, I have yet many things to say unto you, but ye cannot bear them now. You haven't got that capacity. To the Jews, his disciples, you haven't got that capacity. Everything that I tell you, you misunderstand. Everything. And again, Jesus tells them, ye of little faith, ye of little faith. How many times? Dozens of times. And he explains to them as he was explaining to little children, and they can't seem to understand. So he said, are ye even yet without understanding? And when he's provoked further, he said, oh, faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I be with you? I said, if Jesus was a Japanese instead of a Jew, he would have committed the honorable harakiri. Suicide. He would have committed suicide, but now he couldn't afford it. He's a Jew. So he said, I have yet many things to say unto you, but ye cannot bear them now. Howbeit, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak from himself, but what things soever shall he hear, that shall he speak, and he shall declare unto you the things that are to come. He shall glorify me. We say that that Spirit of truth is Muhammad. And he came and glorified Jesus. In the Quran, you read, I have these books all available for you. Muhammad, the natural successor to Christ.